As I sat there at the funeral of Deacon Pat White, the concept of grief hit me differently, unlike when my father passed over 20 years ago. Maybe because I was a teenager then. But as I drive home to the parish on that fateful day after the funeral, I began to reflect on the difference between grief and mourning. And Beth Hewitt explains the difference in a beautiful way. She said, grief is an internalized emotional response that happens normally, naturally, and necessarily upon learning of loved one's death or accompanying another significant loss. On the other hand, mourning, however, is an externalized response to the grief that we can choose to engage or to forgo. She continued to say that mourning uses the emotions that we may feel somewhat passively with grief. Intentional mourning is both active and powerful, and it leads to hope and healing. My dear friends, we grieve because we love. If we don't love, then there is no place for grief. Because love is one of the most powerful forces in human life. So grief becomes an emotional byproduct of lost love. We grieve because we love, and we have lost that love. And without grief, many of us wouldn't be whole, in a sense, and many of us would not fully express or experience the full range of emotions. So we grieve. But what does grief do to us? Grief obstructs our sense of existence and our sense of self. We begin to see ourselves different. We begin to feel empty. We begin to feel a big vacuum. And then we want our wholeness back, but we are helpless and do not even know how to make it happen. So grief happens to us and in us for different reasons. And we grieve because of the loss and the vacuum created by any event that we feel helpless. So my dear friends, grief is a proof of love. And when a beloved one dies, or when something significant happens to us, the love remains. But we must be careful not to allow the love die by offering it as a gift to others and to ourselves. One of the ways to do this is to focus on the blessings our loved one was in gratitude to God, who is love himself. And let that become a gift we offer to others and to ourselves. Remember that death ends a life here and now, but it does not end a relationship in a sense. Grief happens to us and comes to us in different forms, and grief patterns are unique because our relationships are unique. But in any case, there is a common emotion. There are common emotions one feels, but one basic emotion is numbness, and I felt that when my father passed away. I didn't even know how to feel, but I knew I was emotionally broken. So sometimes Our grief manifests as sadness, shock, pain, anger, guilt, fear, loneliness, anxiety, relief, and yearning. And these emotions bring and come with them feelings that disrupts the mind and the body, such as depression, lack of energy, or a sense of weariness, tightness in the chest or muscles, breathlessness, headaches, stomach aches, cognitive confusion, absent-mindedness, sleeplessness, lack of desire to get out of bed, desire to be left alone, irritation that others are not including us socially, disturbing dreams with or without our loved one in them. My intention with all these is discussion or reflection with you is to share an overview on grief, hopefully to help you gain a better understanding of what is going on with you as you try to grapple with the reality of events in your life. Life is a journey, that sometimes comes to us as a wave. As a wave, it blows us to places and situations we did not plan or wish for. The first thing to know is that it's part of life, and that grief is normal, natural, and necessary. But remember, mourning is externalizing what we are feeling inside amid our loss. Beth again provides us a list of what she calls the needs of mourning. And she invites us to pay attention to them as we understand what is going on in our life and as we grieve. The first is to accept the reality. The second is to let yourself feel the pain of the loss. The third, remember the person who died. Fourth, develop a new self-identity. Fifth, search for new meaning. Lastly, let others help you now and always. These steps are not easy. That is why it is a new journey you are undertaking. Be patient with the journey. Be patient with the process. Be patient with the progress. We often hear that God writes in crooked lines. Life, unfortunately, provides many crooked lines in which God writes if we allow Him. There might be some anger, some questions, some feeling of abandonment, or even despair. I wish I have answers to why things turned out the way they did. I wish I have explanations to why bad things happen to good people. But I know one thing, and that is the fact that God is not absent in your grief. He is not insensitive to your pain. He cares and He loves. As you grieve, remember, the righteous cry out and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in their spirit. A righteous man has many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from all of them. He protects all his bones. Not one of them will be broken. Let yourself grieve. It is normal, it is natural, it is necessary, and it is part of your healing process. And it is a sign that you love. But may your grief not be without hope. May your grief be with the assurance and the reassuring presence of God. And may He accompany you with His grace as you try to understand that you are not alone, that He is with you always, even in your grief. May God bless you now and always. Amen.